Good evening, everyone. I don't usually come on this late, but it was a busy day today. So let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. It's on the clock at 6:42, which is actually my outer personality number is 42/6. So that's interesting. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me. So let's see what's going on. I have two big messages today, and then a quick union read and twin flame read. So first, my blue jays were back again this morning. Not much activity like there have been for the past couple days. The birds have been really active the past couple days, but today was pretty quiet. I had put some sunflower seeds out yesterday, but it doesn't look like anyone's really touching them. I don't know if they didn't notice they were there because they were in the front tree today. So that energy was there. And also, you know how I'm always talking about my gnat who shows up at my reads when there's something significant. Well, the movie I turned on last night, the main character's name was Nat Love. So funny. It wasn't a very interesting movie to me anyway. I watched it for a little while, but I couldn't watch the whole thing. But yeah, Nat Love. I had to go in to watch it just because I saw the name Nat Love. And he was like a loving gangster who stole from the guys who stole. Yeah. So, what else? I was also getting energy to focus on, again, the orange to yellow and gold for me personally. And as I was doing some healing work on myself this morning, I was really being guided to the wings and the hips, that it's so important within the body for structure and the I am presence, because the bones are also an organ. So if they're off alignment, everything gets thrown off. So I was getting to focus on the alignment of your wings and your hips, and also getting them as the Holy Grail. So it was like the wings were, it was first coming up as like an eye between the wings and the hips. But then the eye was turning more into a cup, into a Holy Grail, but with a cup on both ends of the eye. So that was interesting. Let's see what else came up. Also, med beds were coming up again. And I was getting like living to 111 years old. I was getting a lot of 11s there, and 1111 is coming up. And 2072 is coming up, which adds up to 11. And let's see here, what else? Yeah, so the first message of the day here, which I'm going to show you the pictures first and we'll roll the die, was at 11:55 this morning, which is 11 of Justice, 55 of the Ace of Swords, Truth. So truth and balance here, and Excalibur coming up. And let's show you the pictures first and then we'll roll the die. This is the, first is the union read. Okay, so we have the feminine on the left, masculine on the right, as usual. This is 3D, 45D today. The bridge between the masculine and feminine in the middle. Incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energy up here, and the closing energy here. I pulled a card behind here, which was the Page of Pentacles, and again, another card past this one to balance that out, which was the Page of Cups. So 2 pages there. So there could be 2 pages of something as well. And yeah, this is Sirian Starseed deck, and then the read in front of you, which I will turn the light on for that read when I get there, is the basic read here, again with the Sirian Starseed deck. It is a 7-deck read. We have the Romance Angels, the Numerology deck, the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Rider-Waite Mini, the Gilded Tarot, the Universal Golden Tarot on top of the Sirian Starseed deck. This is the full read that you see in front of you. Again, 7-deck read. If you want something more personalized to yourself, you can always check me out for a read. My information's below. and on my website, twinflames3344.com. I have a CD out there also called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. This is the first read that we're starting now, the message of the day. And then this is the second message of the day that I also did today. Both of them pretty deep messages, so I would stay tuned. Okay, and then we're going to roll the die. The decks I use for the messages of the day is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guidebook, and then the Lenormand Reverie, then the Gilded Tarot, and then the Kipper deck. So for the Twin Flames today, and today is the 4th, the new moon. The new moon here was about an hour ago. It just switched. So let's see what we have. For the twins, we have the 6 of the Lovers, which is also love, family, and community. And the month of June, which is Gemini going into Cancer. And we have the Sun here, which Leo's been coming up a lot this week as well. But we have the Sun, which is Leo, and then 6 of the Lovers and Gemini. And then we have Virgo here as well as the sign that's coming up for you. Okay. So Virgo, Leo, and Gemini, which also can reference the twins. And yeah, so we have Virgo and Gemini, which are both Mercury. So a lot of communications, and Mercury came up yesterday, I think it was too. So those are the energies. We'll see where it's going. The Leo is all about the inner child and the I am presence, being seen. And then the Virgo and Gemini are very much about communication, but in very different ways. And Gemini is like I always feel Gemini is more of a universal communicator, whereas Virgo is more involved with the details of the communications. Let's get into this message of the day. There's a lot here. So again, this was done at 11:55 to 12:02 this afternoon. And I was crossing over here. The first thing that was coming up as I started the message of the day was the ants go marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. And then down to the ground to get out of the rain, bum, bum, bum. So that's how it started. The underlying energy is the firefly, which I wrote fireway by accident, or firewall. But it starts out with the firefly, the magnifying glass, the death card reversed, and the thief. Inspiration to ground and integrate and master the details. Interesting, I just brought up the details regarding Virgo. To look closer at something, expand, patience and balance, a higher love, regarding illness, exhaustion, and a need to end a cycle of the Queen of Wands thief energy. The bat and the fox, literally and figuratively spaced out here prior to the firefly, as the bunny is afraid of the truth birthing and the elephant is stampeding with their broken tusk, with the truth spoken between fear and wisdom, with the flame in the trunk or nose, or smelling a fire, or sniffing out something burning, or drama and red eye. A powerful force to be reckoned with. The stomping or stamping out the dark. All they needed was a spark of inspiration or divine intervention here. The bunny is alerted and can hear them coming from a distance. The truth to be exposed about Tinkerbell. The polarized devilish powers that be and the pushy mothers inspired to crack codes of directions on how to connect one to one. The vehicle of infiltration, which has been the main topic the past week or two. A letter or sealed document here. The trigger to solve the riddle as the fox goes northeast or to northeast, making sure no one follows, seeking a higher love, to get a closer look at the details or potential issues of what others are making such a big deal about. The grounding and integrating mastering of the weight of the world. And no messages. My ears burning. That was the message I was getting right there, that my ears are burning. So perhaps someone's talking about you. The Page of Wands reversed, walking away and within to find the missing piece, while Leo tames the beast or walks the dog, or Leo on a leash. And the King of Cups reversed at 12:21, Scorpio reversed, perhaps, emotionally exhausted or sick, with issues between these two, or a square between Leo upright and Scorpio reversed, and or father and child. And then that finished at 12:23, which is the King of Wands. Okay, I am going to turn the light on here just so it's a little bit more light for me here. Okay. So then I turn the page and it's 12:23 to 24, which is the King and Queen of Wands with the Hanging Man. Suddenly there's a man thinking of the woman regarding the home, the union, the judication, the hardworking Queen of Cups versus the thief Queen of Wands, or his inner feminine figuring out how he can manipulate his way in. All fire and cups here. And again, the Page of Wands reversed with the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Cups was coming up with the King of Cups, who was reversed. And Leo versus the water sign Scorpio. So the first section here was, Dear One, Dear Nightingale, or Downton Abbey, right? Like Dear Abby. The little birdies whispering or singing in the dear one's well-balanced ear. The doe-eyed deer with a breakthrough of lovers or home and family, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, legacy, or world, and the older man with concerns about his little girl being a target. The nightingale or the songbird is the vehicle of ascension and infiltration, which is talking about being the vehicle, being able to get into it, like the bacteria gets into the clam and produces the pearl. Someone gets into the organization in order to fix it from within. The vehicle of ascension and infiltration, actually giving an escape route for the moon child to find her dream family, or the little girl poisoning dear one by planting seeds that will help them see the light of the blessing in disguise of the snake and poison apples in the garden, expediting a way out to heaven on earth for his little girl or his little bunny with fears and very vulnerable. Around the patriarchy here, religion, establishment, and or societal norms. With Gemini and or twins, and Cancer both the perpetrator and victim, and Capricorn reversed and Taurus upright offering traditional guidance perhaps. The second section here is the Lion King and the Tarantula. Calm and sure at the crossroads, or when a spider crosses their path, the Lion Queen of Wands with the two swans, two as one, is very well connected in traditional society perhaps, or with Pisces or divine feminine who is opening fully to the Hierophant or Taurus, or to the idea of marriage perhaps. And maybe in a mailed letter or sealed old document that's opened, the Chariot divine feminine within the masculine is ascending through communication, holy communion, at the crossroads with justice and rod and staff, impatience and losing patience, and or cracking the whip to get things going, while keeping cards close to their chest, perhaps in occupation or being occupied with a lot of back and forth, putting the pieces together, and or the arrows of love at 12:41, which is the Hanging Man, and the Ace of Cups, self-love, spiritual love, or new love. The lion's den versus the spider's web, and which way to go, with Leo and Cancer and Libra and Pisces here. And the third section here is the crow and the golden egg. And you notice there was 4 sets of 2 cards here. So the crow's distance to their nest must be very direct, as the crow without sudden dreams, or the crow with their sudden dreams coming true, and or galactic relations. Hold on one second, I just need to fix something. Spontaneous healing could be here as well, and Drain standing guard on the wounded warrior's pathway, the heart chakra and the nest egg inspired by writing or a letter or message received, or perhaps a tox report, so some kind of toxin report about a cause of death, or wanting to detox after a death, an ending or dark night, a transition and or rebirth by exposing all, giving life where there was none, being brought back to life, which is interesting too, because I watched, what was that movie called? I watched Replicas last night, which is an older movie. Was it that old? No, it wasn't that old. I think it was just a few years ago. But anyway, Replicas was about bringing someone back to life. So, and also about a lot about the kids that are coming up here, being like the crow's distance from your nest egg, being close enough to get to your kids if you need to help them, or perhaps dealing with your kids today or in the next week or so during this time period right now. Just a lot of back and forth and support of your children could be coming up. But again, there's some kind of toxin report that's coming up here, whether it's an autopsy or some other kind of toxic report. Oh, that's funny too, because I got the report about my the full report about my basement damage today as well. So again, yeah, that movie with Replicas, well, that was Keanu Reeves, that's who it was. And also Super Soldiers came up. The Wounded Warrior's Path to Death and Rebirth and Transformation. The fourth section here is at 1251, which is the Hangman and the King of Swords, the Super Soldier, is the Shark and the Mouse, the Predator and the Nervous Nelly with anxiety issues. The Shark is coming up with the King of Cups, collapsing timelines to triumph over the Atlas energy or Atlas ship. And so I looked up some different Atlas things that came up with ship, and what came up was Atlas Ocean Voyages, which is a fleet of 5 polar class sister ships because they go to Antarctica. Also, Atlas International ships came up, which I think was the Philippines. And the Airbus A400M Atlas, which is a European 4-engine turboprop military transport plane designed by Airbus Military, which is now Airbus Defence and Space. I think their first flight was 2009, and it's really good for aerial refueling and medvac, but I think they were having issues with the engine. I think Kazakhstan actually in this year, September 21st, signed to buy 2 of them for the Air Force. And that was from ntsb.gov. And also, that was this one here. On February 23rd, 19, Atlas Air Inc., Flight 3591, had crashed in Trinity Bay, Texas. It was a flight coming from Miami to IAH, so it's MIA is it's funny, missing in action is Miami, and then IAH, and it crashed right before its landing. It was crashed in Texas, and that was at 10:33, which was 11:33 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why that came up, but that might be for someone out there. So again, the Shark and the Mouse, and collapsing timelines to triumph over the Atlas ship with no water to ground into. A lot of hot air, but no love and emotion. The Mouse Hermit with flowers and gifts, which is funny because I just moved some flowers when I was writing this, right before it. There's energetic exchange here, perhaps in choosing a path or the twin flame journey or 28, with a lady in waiting for Atlas ship to come in, or coming round the mountain when she comes. The King of Cups and the Hermit, or the child with the mother's support, regarding those who had come against him and attack, and innocent for no reason. The 5th section here was the lamb, the snake, and the oyster. And I wrote the lamp by accident, so I don't know if somebody's dealing with a lamp. But the lamp, the snake, and the oyster, where the lamb is a target for their diamond light, in the collective awakening, with the oyster clammed up, protecting themselves. The lamb is hiding from the Knight of Cups gambler, perhaps, the wounded warrior surrendering to the world of family, or that they feel like the world is their oyster, right? A gambler. It's mine for the taking, right? The world of family and completion of a room, home, or cycle here. The sealed awakening with diving deep and well wishes, self-love and new love, and the Page of Swords reversed with negative self-talk, or negative with no messages, or child with a mouth, and dealing with a false person or a false couple in the dance between the man and the woman. Oyster clammed up with lucky high priestess, and the emperor's upright and wise, and with wise privileged lady here at 134, which is the magician, and the 8 of wands energetic exchange or arrows of love. The lamb and the oyster may be struggling in the awakening of the collective, as the Knight of Cups loves the high priestess and the wounded warrior is surrendering. The Page of Swords is reversed to the emperor's upright here, refusing to bow down to the emperor perhaps, and this could be children who are refusing to bow down to bosses or people, like standing in their sovereignty, and silencing of the lamb of the Knight of Cups, while rumors of awakening and diving deep. For love and the tango between the divine feminine and divine masculine, the pearl growing with 2 wishes of the emperor and the privileged lady at 139, the magician and the Knight of Cups. Pisces, Aries, Capricorn, and Leo here. At 139 then, and there's my gnat just strolled across the couch. Here he is again. The magician and the Knight of Cups. The Black Panther and the crocodile targeting them. Now here, the panther causes havoc, and the crocodile is right behind them. The fish is squirming, perhaps because they're playing with the big fish here. The Black Panther and the crocodile are targeting them, the ones prior to this, along with the fish out of water, while the vulture and unicorn and peacock and turtle and dragon keep an eye on them. The panther is stalking the Queen of Cups, twin bridges, or perhaps burned twin bridges between them, with great options that she has and or synchronicities, heaven in their eyes about the emperor and courtship, or home connections, or building, or builds. The crocodile is with a child here, or maybe could be a child who's a crocodile, in transition, a player or falling short in taking a destined journey. The dark powers targeting the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands reversed. The fish, King of Cups, is moving to avoid the dark energy, while the panther and crocodile are uncomfortable in it. Oh no, they're quite, I'm sorry, couldn't read that word right. Okay. To avoid the dark energy, the panther and crocodile are actually quite comfortable in it, whereas the fish is on a magic adventure here of new inspiration and passion for a message of concern, patience, and a higher love, crossing delicate bridges with the Queen of Cups transiting a child on a magic adventure, with lots of options and synchronicities for the Knight of Wands reversed to fall, but then get inspired again. The Emperor courting a high vibe journey to a higher love. Scorpio, Gemini or Virgo, Sagittarius both upright and reversed here, Aries and Libra all here. In the 7th section is the vulture, the loving man, twin flame perhaps, or choosing to wait it out and then clean up the mess in inequitable relationship with a wealthy man in transition that may be unfair. The unicorn loving lady is backing him up over an injustice of changes, endings, completion, or changes in general, or that could be charges as well. There could be, there's a loving man and a loving lady here, and they could be parents watching a child blossom before their eyes, and just kind of admiring their child, while others are waiting in the wings to go on stage to find their curtain call, and yet by the time someone's ready, it's like the parents who are watching the children were so occupied with that now the people waiting in the wings have now found their curtain call and are ready to leave, no longer waiting around for someone else, right? So they're leaving just as the others are arriving. Both the loving man and the loving lady are experiencing endings in injustices, both waiting to see how the adventure works out. Libra, Scorpio here, after Scorpio, Virgo, or Gemini, or Magic Child, who gets right back on the horse after falling. The peacock is making their presence known to Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, perhaps dealing here with duality or polarity, and the King of Pentacles reversed at a gated community or a big house or the big house with judgment, or a house received in a judgment, or got the business but lost the house, to the main female and the mature man. The turtle is slow here, but sure, abundantly scaling right over obstacles, juggling the rainbow with their eye on the prize, the high vibe main female high priestess, and shooing away the dragon power lady who's present and looking for an official or one who's imprisoned while she socializes or comes together with the free man or the hierophant mature man, or perhaps a father. Perhaps she's overly confident in her status here. Perhaps in the emperor courtship they did not receive a message and left on a journey, when then another female for him got the message and then took it to a wealthy man or an attorney to perhaps rent a car to catch up with them, perhaps to go to a house of a main female and the worldly man, falling short and getting passionate again to deal with an inequity, an injustice, or the King of Pentacles reversed juggling or socializing or hobnobbing with the power woman and worldly man or politician. And so he may be juggling that life with the main female. That was coming up as well. So then we have at 210 is the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. The 8th section is exposing powers and towers to bypass layers of the labyrinth in order to come together in the juicy center where all the sunshine and energy lives or lies, for expanding and contracting and reflecting polarity to expand by staying centered and minimalizing exaggeration of thoughts. Announcements made and rising above to be the Knight of Cups and just be love. The King of Cups boy going out on his own, present to foolish officials, and the gift or blessing in disguise of the fool's journey and releasing themselves from their prisons. The perpetrator and the savior and the prisoner victim in the middle, they are the ones who turn the key and shift everything to unconditional love and open-hearted and free, the prisoner who makes friends with the cellmate as well as their captors here. So the second message of the day I did was at 2:30 p.m. and this one had underlying energies of the vulture, the breakthrough of the sun through the clouds, 3 of Pentacles, and the hard worker. In the collective awakening, from multiple points of view, from the heart and the crown opening, the scorpion arrives, as we're in Scorpio, with their stinger out to trigger the elephant to move on it, scaring the funny bunny and the hard-working beaver to say, "Damn it, Janet," as they all gather to see what's at the center of it all, the root cause, the swelling, the accident, the star. What's it all about, Alfie? Who's in the ring, the stadium, the event, the gathering of 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, which is 16, and then 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, which is 81, and the sudden end to karma around the world. The ants marching 2 by 2 by 72, as the 2 swans as one mirror the silencing of the lamb, as the 7 seals are broken and the eagle goes to work, the eagle then landing, getting their talons to clasp on to the center of the earth, the day the earth stood still. An emotional attachment to God, El, and energy, or glee. Don't mess with the lamb. As EA changes her hair color, the story of the harmonic egg is published. The loving swans and the lamb and the eagles who all lost their mates, all coming forward to want to know about their ancient origins. The vulture actually is the old eagle who lost their beloved and were never right again, telling their story, the true holy woods story, the never-ending tale. The age-old story of the lion and the lamb, the innocent and the almighty. As the eagle clears the runway, the elder is present to greet the arrival of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene in tow at 2:58, the High Priestess and the 4 of Swords, which is the 5D connection. So I was literally getting like, you would greet a president on the runway as they get off the plane with the First Lady. That's exactly what was coming up here. So the child in transition, supported by the group, he unconditionally loving, collapsing timelines and diving deep with well wishes and winding things up, freedom of the family tree on the rainbow bridge that's open to all, for free, to carry the weight of the world, the burden of the holy wood, in the lover's breakthrough to realize the three dark birds, or in other words, the butterflies. Look to the sun and to the butterflies. And why would you keep your eyes closed when there's all of this to see? Which was a quote that I'd gotten from Jesus when I was at the Cathars Castle in the south of France. The ancient eagles and the butterflies are free to fly, fly away, bye-bye, which of course is Elton John. I'm pretty positive, unless I'm thinking of somebody else. But the dark to light in lover's plight of freedom whispered in my ear, you're a butterfly, again Elton, on the fool's journey, having graduated from the wounded warrior's journey to the 10 of Pentacles, heaven on earth, in energetic exchange with the 9 of Cups, happy days, ending a long-standing emotional cycle of unhappiness to come together to co-create. As ships arrive and messages are received, Atlas and 28, or the twin flames and their choice of path of a higher love, patience and balance, and a man suddenly thinking of a woman, and a message as a vehicle to his wealth and transition, but the old man who has concerns on who to side with when they come together at work, or with a little girl who's romantic, and the innocent Cancer or High Priestess main female judicating in union with the Queen of Cups who may be toiling and laboring. Or someone wants a child and is thinking of the perfect one to host their egg and sperm, but how much to offer them? Or at 316, which is the Empress and the Tower, or how to bring a new partner and child and introduce them at work. Like when did this all happen, right? So the Vulture or Old Eagle with lover's breakthrough at work, with the Queen of Cups working there, or how to let one go to bring in another. And then we have the first section here of the sea serpent, the tarantula, and the wolf. The sacred crossroads for the wolf is right here, dazed and confused about the wounded warriors pulling up anchors to come against the thieves or the Queen of Wands or those defenseless to their heart being stolen. At the Y in the road, the loving man twin flame, the King of Wands reversed, imprisoned at present, or imprisoned with gift, needing the key to his own heart. The wolf in sheep's clothing, or the sheep in wolf's clothing, as the infiltrator to the 2 of Cups' intense connection with official person on the fool's journey instead. The sacred anchor defenseless or without excuse, the Queen of Wands wounded warrior, and the King of Wands reversed with gifts, and the snake in the garden of the ultimate soulmate, officiating the end of the wounded warrior's journey and the start of the fool's journey, open heart and all, at 326, which is the Empress and the Page of Wands. The second section here is the frog and the bear and the cheetah, so now they're coming in threes. The frog insecure about their princely status, with the key to their freedom and unity consciousness, and holding their tongue while the hermit goes through changes or compassion in endings. The bear is slow to get started, with the Queen of Wands with her swan getting over loss and regret of a house in judgment, with the cheetah with sudden dreams come true but uncomfortable emotions about the Page of Wands and their great fortune. Perhaps a parent gifted a house to a grandchild as opposed to the child, and perhaps the Knight of Swords reversed frog is quiet until the Queen of Wands gets over the news. The frog and the bear face the cheetah, who's on offense, ready to pounce, with the panther behind them for backup. And the third section here is the panther, the spider in the web, or the World Wide Web, and the oyster. The plan that causes havoc, or the bodyguard to Charlotte in their web. With oyster clammed up, the panther is inspired by a letter or communication of the Queen of Pentacles to the King of Cups, impoverished boy at 338, which is the Empress and the Queen of Cups. The spider in the web, The spider in the web with wise counsel, suffering in silence, or sister act, a false person or couple, or dealing with masks, or a false person is getting between the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, or blaming them for her issues and or bad health. The oysters clammed up, complete with mountain to overcome, with the Empress, and healthcare battles, a letter for counsel to overcome, and the panther wants the spider on the web to shut up. The Queen of Pentacles with pain and suffering, with the Empress ringleader. So I'm not seeing the Empress as sick, but she could be dealing with healthcare issues with other people. The Queen of Pentacles with pain and suffering, and the Empress ringleader here. They're both upright. And the King of Cups is doing the dance of masks and abundant healthcare industry. The fourth section here is the hummingbird and the peacock. The high vibe clearing and the peacock to be seen or make their presence known, exposing battles and conflicts, and the Queen of Cups burned bridges. The Knight of Cups is offering love at the new moon, or at dawn or to dawn, on the journey of despair regarding energetic exchange, occupation in putting the pieces together, sowing the seeds of love between the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups in a united front. The ring of the Knight of Wands, boxing, circle of trust, ringling brothers, or the ring of fire, the commitment or promise, and the ruby red slippers that say there's no place like home. No options but to be sunshine and shine bright when looking back. The privileged lady hanging out inspired by unexpected income or from a loving, mature woman. Motivation here at 401, the Emperor and the Magician, to be inspired to always return to the heart. Peace and quiet at the full moon and new moon, traveling and open heart, exhausted, traveling in the dark to dump emotional attachments and connect with true self, where Scorpio is reversed and Pisces is upright, perhaps dumping together to motivate each other. The King of Cups, wounded warrior, which could be a father kind of energy too, who's struggling. The King of Cups, wounded warrior, coming clean to change up the act or space, or clean up their own act or space, in need of courage and good health, justice, truth, and balance, of the worst now over, and the bliss state. At 404, the Page of Cups and the Emperor, which can be the Emperor and his own inner child of innocence. The main male in marriage of abundance on the wounded warrior's path, while the Emperor's courting for a room in her house or home that's fully completed now after a death and legal transfer of documents of the King of Wands taking a trip to the Knight of Cups' community. And we have Gemini or Virgo, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Leo, and Libra in this section. And that was at 411, which is the Emperor and Justice. And then it was funny because I was hearing somebody else talk about the blue jay at their house today as well. Yeah, so let's get into the union read. And then the okay. So this is the physical union read for the 3D, 4D, 5D. Done for today, the new moon. And this was at 8:01 last night. The underlying energy was the wounded warrior. The central energy was the 9 of Swords, which can be the word suffering and silence. And then it ended with the 7 of Pentacles, which is the divine feminine's heart. And she was connected to the Page of Cups, opening up their heart wide. And the wounded warrior was connected to the Page of Pentacles, who's very curious about their abilities. So the curious Page of Pentacles, wounded warrior, surrenders to end the nightmare and come out of hiding to the divine feminine's heart in the E-Tower, to Sir with love. The incoming divine feminine is the Hanging Man, the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles. Hanging out with the 10 of Cups family and the 10 of Pentacles family, business or community, or awakening the world, and pyramiding with support for the flyer to reach the top in the garden of prayer. And that could be doing, group prayers as well. The 3D here is the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. with the divine feminine in Akashics, or the silencing of the wounded warrior, the divine masculine juggling and looking down at the two on the ground on the jetties in the mists of Avalon, bridging Batman by walking away to where the land meets sea, and the 4D was the 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, and guidance, with the divine feminine ending pain for bliss or betrayal of or by doctors perhaps, and the divine masculine with guidance or marriage counseling, bridging by coming out of hiding. The 5D here is the 4 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. The divine feminine grounding and integrating and wishing upon a star to join as one, as the divine masculine with the Queen of Pentacles perhaps fading away, or perhaps their time, money, and effort are fading away. Bridging with the 2 of Pentacles, surrender to all that is, and the outgoing divine masculine is the Ace of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups, the truth that lies beneath the surface, just waiting to play ball, sharing or equalizing the Queen of Cups and the divine feminine's heart in the E Tower, now opening her heart with a splash. The divine feminine with the King of Pentacles ending pain to let go and fix things, the divine masculine with stretching and growing, with guidance of the Queen of Pentacles perhaps. Bridging here by walking away and within, ending the suffering in silence and surrendering to all that is. The divine feminine with Pisces and Capricorn on their side, along with the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. That could be a father and child, or something new they're trying to manifest. The divine masculine has Taurus on their side with the two queens, Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups, but also the Page of Cups there, which can be manifesting a message of love, or a child with a lot of love, or puppy love. And in between the masculine and feminine here, really there is nothing between them in this read. Hanging 10 with 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Lovers purging in a clearing of emotions of the divine feminine's heart. The overall number for this read is 81, which for me, from the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, is 81, the end of karma. The horizontal pillars came out to 22, 19, and 40, which is the Fool, the Sun, and the Page of Cups. And the vertical pillars came out to 9, 10, 10, which is the Hermit, and then the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, times 2. 14 of the Temperance card, 19 of the Sun, 5 of the Hierophant, 1 the Magician, 6 of the Lovers, and 7 of the Chariot. And the message came out to the Fool, right, who's free to leap in the Sun with love and the end of karma. And I was getting again to Sir with love. Free to leap in the Sun with love in the end of karma around the world. The Hermit pops a wheelie, being patient, exposing Sagittarius or Leo and Taurus or Virgo lovers in the Chariot in the end of karma. The Hermit high vibe destiny of a higher love and sunshine, exposing all and energized, with the Sag Leo King of Swords and King of Pentacles in a different perspective in the end of karma there. So again, ending karma around the world, which then becomes more like it bounces back right away. So you can never collect karma because it's instant. It comes right, it reflects right back to you. So again, I watched replicas last night, but also I tried to, that was the one with Nat Love, and that was the Harder They Fall, but I didn't watch the whole thing of that. Yeah, somebody else said something about someone saying you need me. You're accepting somebody in because they know that you need them. But that's exactly what he said in the movie last night in Replicas too, that right, you're not going to kill them because you need me. That kind of energy was coming up. So I cut and dealt this deck, the Syrian Starseed deck, at 9:41 last night, which is the Hermit and the Ace of Cups, which can be self-love, spiritual love, new love. And at 10:08, which is the Wheel and the 8 of the Dance, between the masculine and feminine, the manifestation of dreams, Anzishin came up. I don't know if that's an actual word or not, but you can look it up if you want. Well, actually, let me see if I have that open already. I can do that really quickly. Okay, let's see if that comes up. It didn't go in right. Right, A-N-S-I-T-I-O-N. Yeah, no, it doesn't come up as an actual word. So, but it's coming up now as I'm looking at it as a sit connection, perhaps a sit-in. And then I got the N, which for me is the code for Christ. So a sit-in for Christ, perhaps. I finished clarifying at 1022, which is a Wheel of Fortune, and the 22 of the Fool, or the Fool's Journey. And we had the Strength card in the read, as well as the Star Seed, which is the Fool, Higher Self, Transition, which is the Death card. And before the read, the Sun came up, or Solar Deity. After the read, Reflection, or the Hermit, came up. There were 5 swords in this read. That's a lot. If I ever get more than even 4 is a lot of the same suit. But when 5 or 6 comes up, that's very rare. So we had 5 swords here, a lot of overthinking or intellectualizing, with 1 pentacle and 1 wand. Pentacles have to do with time, money, and effort, and wands, of course, is passionate action. And then we have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords within the read. The Knight of Wands and Queen of Wands are after the read, and before the read is the King of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So the King of Wands and Knight of Cups together in the underlying energies, Page of Swords and Knight of Swords in the read, and then Knight of Wands and Queen of Wands right next to each other after the read. We had triple 2s in the read as well as double 3s. So a lot of 2s, one-on-one energies, the feminine energy, the mediative energy, the 33 of the Christ energy, the unity consciousness, and standing up for oneself, the 7 of Wands. And the 7 was really important here, the Chariot. 1, 2, 3 jump, the 1 of the Magician, and then 37 of the King of Cups, as well as 35 of the Wounded Warrior, and 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the Loyal Humble Servant, and 56 in a lesser sense too, which is that 2 of Swords, which is being in your knowing, but keeping quiet, keeping it to yourself, or pretending not to know, to keep your peace of mind. 23 is here too with the King of Wands. The code line was all about physical activity with the number 3 of the Empress, which is also Gaia and coming together, siblings, socializing, that happy-go-lucky, smiley person. And it was coming up, M-A-T-S separately was coming up, but that's mats, so it could be any kind of Matthews coming up or mats on the floor. But Matt's path, in a flash of light or to themselves, seeking separation, aiding their higher self. And the re-energy was coming up here, which can be a shaman energy. So maybe focusing on his shaman side regarding physical activities, but that was broken up into phi and sickle and activity. So the way that came up here is Matt SS, so that could be suffering in silence, that could be social security, that can be Nazi kind of energy. But the key to shave or flash of light or make something really fine or thin, and seeking the 3 of Swords, the separation, and the 6 degrees of separation that come up yesterday, of the broken heart or being shocked. So I'm getting shock treatment. That came up in the movie too, where they were shocking each other to get this plant out of them. So something that is very fine to cut with, like a flash of light or ray, using energy as opposed to an actual knife, to cut something. So that flash or light or shaving to seek the 3 of Swords separation of the broken heart or shocked, the lovers here in their higher self, frenzied in separation, reflecting, cutting the wheat from the chaff, and acting to that end, or beginning without the human. So, and that was coming up in the movie too, because he became, he made a duplicate of himself. He was cloned in the movie last night. So that's weird. Okay. So also the mother energy was coming up here. Ma being a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. But this is coming up as to herself. Like maybe she doesn't, it's not coming off that way to the child or whoever she's caring for. but she thinks she's a sweet spoonful of sugar. I don't know if somebody says that. It might be something funny for someone. But the mother, with a teaspoon of sweet or a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down, to self, seeing the energy of separation and heartbreak and aiding the higher self to riddle by expanding and contracting and beginning without the human and acting, crossing over the Y in the road. So perhaps having to make a decision. And 2 spoons of sugar, like which one should I take? Matt's street or Matt's saint. Perhaps their car, their chariot, maybe their vehicle is missing Jesus or that energy of Christ consciousness, and seeking the 3 of Swords crown of the higher self shaman, and then of PE was also coming up, which is physical, right? It's gym, physical exercise. But that also can be physical activity. I don't know why I wrote PE, because PE would be actually physical activity is what is written as opposed to PA. But PE is a pulmonary embolus too, so that somebody might have had a pulmonary embolus. So, all right, so that's the energy that was coming up. So a lot about the Matts or Matthew energies, however that relates to you, and the Empress coming up here, and the higher self and the shaman energy coming in. And the chariot, like the vehicle of ascension, is the feminine within the masculine, but without Jesus, where are they, right? Because they're ascending. It doesn't have to be anything to do with Christianity. It has to do with the Christ consciousness and the templating of the twins, which is the Jesus, Mary, Magdalene template. The strength energy is how we start the underlying energy here. So we have the strength card right here with the mini cards on top. And under the strength card is the King of Wands reversed, the Sun upright, the 6 of Swords upright, the Knight of Cups, and the 2 of Cups upright. The King of Wands reversed, Leo, or in the Sun, energized, perhaps on vacation or dealing with kids or pets or finding peace, with the Knight of Cups, soulmate, partner, and being strong. Justice or breakup, or justice of a breakup, or lack of affection, the King of Pentacles and the Sovereign reverse, which can be a couple or it can be siblings or it can be a father and child, are uncomfortable here starting over. In energetic exchange and synchronicities, choices of coming clean or cleaning up and letting go to fix and make amends, with the King of Cups reversed post-war or post-virus and now healthy. A lot of money lost to fight for a cause, to become green or make repairs and no longer wear big shoes to arm self, no longer afraid to touch the water. In the Battle of Normandy is coming up here, and Poseidon's adventure with Napoleon bonehead and no longer investing in war and or the virus. Suffering in silence or dealing with sister and reaping rewards of the gold coin, the collective consciousness of unity, and the opportunity or invitation by or of the spiritual community, and or a divorce with someone being all beige, or trying to decide, should I just make it all beige to go with everything, one size fits all, or be outside the box thinking. There's no harm in trying with 1 of 7 coins, or perhaps letting go of 1 of the 7 coins to help a child manifest on their own, or manifest separate beliefs from yours, at 1154, which is justice and the Page of Swords. And then we have wedding here. The situation involves marriage, and beneath that, release your ex. Coming together in physical reunion, looking back at a romantic tie. At 1155, then, dead tired, after death, near death, or never-ending story of pushing buttons and dumping on the Empress upright. The sickle or the scythe, cutting out second place trophy. A Carrie moment, and this is coming up as the movie Carrie, of the cow's blood dumped on her, where there's no love here, and him protecting the one on the ceiling from her. So it's like, like clinging to the glass ceiling, staying away from whoever's on the ground, which is referencing 3D. The Empress with vengeance on her mind. We have parenting here with 63, which is suffering in silence, dealing with parenting. And then abundance beneath that, which is 88 of the twins, the 2 dancing side by side within their own masculine and feminine. Then the train horn blew at 12:01, which is the Hangman and the Magician, the messenger of truth after a sudden event with the Queen of Cups reversed, reaping rewards and drained or overexposed with new information or clarity of deception. Crossing fingers and hoping to die, stick a needle in their eye, which actually also came up in the movie last night when they were making them into robots. Day in and day out, hoping for eye transplant or upper lid or lower lid job, with Scorpio, Leo, and Cancer reversed here. Also Taurus upright and reversed, Libra upright, Gemini reversed, and Leo upright here. Deception or new moon here, or up before dawn. And that somebody was just talking about the moment before dawn, also referencing now I'm blanking out who it is. I don't think it's the magpie. Was it the magpie? I don't know, maybe, I can't remember. Anyway, it's that energy of the darkness, it's how dark it is right before the dawn. So there's deception or new moon or up before dawn, where it's that darkest part of the night, being strong, brave, healthy post-war, in a divorce with the Empress and or a sister parenting or suffering in silence dealing with parenting. There's a judgment call, announcement, or wake-up call, a decision to experience bliss, falling on face to start over with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, perhaps a loss or dysfunction, to share and be strong, or with Leo, kids, or pets, where the worst is now over, with a blissful awakening, a completed cycle of things not going your way, with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or ending of an emotional cycle that's just done, or lack of fulfillment here and getting over loss and regret, and or the past. At 12:11, which is the Hangman and Justice, in the recent past here is the Seven of Swords reversed, holding back downloads or messages, with the Hermit shedding light from the workplace, first thing coming together, with the King of Cups reversed to meet and travel to work together for the Queen of Wands to present the truth of spiritual dilemma or divorce or break after a sudden event, an epiphany or sexual exchange. And the signs that are coming up here are Virgo upright, Cancer both upright and reversed, and Taurus and Scorpio both reversed here. And then this was at 12:14, which is the Hanging Man and the Temperance card, or the angelic energy, being patient and balanced. The foundation here is the Starseed reversed, or the Fool reversed, with no download to the Crown, presenting the truth, perhaps the Queen of Wands with Aries in her chart, or the truth is given, pushing the Fool reversed over the edge. The Knight of Pentacles is offering help to the one who's keeping to themselves post-war with the Empress. And the central card here is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords upright, who found the light, moving to peace or on water, or hit someone with their boat and got knocked for a loop. The Page of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed perhaps were involved in a near-death experience, whether that was a boat accident or a car accident, that could be coming up as well, and a lot of hard work to get the Queen of Wands to even look their way again, or someone lost in the water or cold, or searching a cold mountain all night for someone who may have been lost, or there's a pet that was never found, that everybody were out, searching for this pet here. The challenge being, and somebody might have been calling because the phone was just ringing and ringing, and that phone doesn't ring very much, never answered. The challenge being the Three of Swords, separation, healing, and forgiving. The King of Wands reversed, living in the past, trying to manifest, fixing things, or making amends, perhaps for something that happened a long time ago, and that was at 12:21. Home with the Queen of Cups reversed, the Emperor looking back at the Page of Wands reversed, and or a pet or Leo, or going for a walk. At 12:23 is the Hanging Man and the King of Wands. Energy vampiring or imprisoned by lying, cheating, or stealing, and sweet judgment, and strong-arming the beast or boar in a Florida wrestling match here or beach, being forced to drink the water. On a quest to find out if someone is cheating or is with someone, the Ten of Swords reversed, bliss of the Two of Cups with the Empress. The Two of Wands here is in choosing a path with the Emperor, who is the wounded warrior, or with the wounded warrior, surrendering to prison or the trap and spreading the word. Now is the Three of Pentacles upright with synchronicities, options, and awakened, perhaps Taurus, working to align or get their ducks in a row. Here's the Taurus energies. The Hierophant, religion, establishment, or Taurus, or the marriage, surrendering and coming clean, or cleaning up the actor's space, overworking and up at dawn, or work may be offering the twin or choice, the Page of Cups and Page of Swords, being very loving with each other, or reviewing fond memories of a work partnership and closing the distance gap for their dreams to come true. The Queen of Swords is tempted by the man in the mirror, defending the Queen of Swords or having her back, to the Ten of Cups reversed family, and the Queen of Swords talking to the wizard behind the curtain, with no surprise that they may be arrogant or self-satisfied with fond memories of the hangry magician. Sparring with the Knight of Swords magician, or Gemini or Virgo, over the secret passion, healing and getting over it, and soon is the Knight of Swords coming clean after the fact, to fix things and rise above the unhappy family or lack of emotional fulfillment, announcing or in a wake-up call to the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords, rushing into the High Priestess reversed or secret passion in uncomfortable energies. The twin flames seeing themselves as the twin flames, the Two of Flames, with good news to prisoner and or the Queen of Pentacles, or prisoners of each other. The journeyman dumped on, pushed to the limit with kids, pets, Leo, exposing all in energetic exchange over the Queen of Pentacles' head. Passion, separation, and new love, getting to know each other, and around the twins are how they're seen as the Ace of Swords, with the truth here of the Knight of Cups offering love to end all the pain and start a new life, or a little bit of love now that the worst is over, and a lot of time, money, and effort to make it all better. Losing patience, or a fallen angel who's out in the cold, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, having to pay out for this. The challenge being the higher self reversed, announcing to the King of Swords, who may be frustrated in the downturn, slowdown, or twist of fate, or maybe it's just not time yet. With physical activity, but even more so, love, the Page of Wands is reversed with the King of Swords upright and the Page of Swords. The transition portal for the world, Pisces, or the Divine Feminine, with the Knight of Wands rushing in to sweep them off their feet. The Emperor Magician and the Wounded Warrior surrendering to hostages' messages and or their terms of release. The secret passion getting over loss, regret, and sharing, being charitable and or settling out, knowing and floating with Hermit shedding light, the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands, and the War of the Worlds. The Knight of Wands is lassoing in the Divine Feminine, done stretching and growing and juggling 3 while saving 2 for later. So done with that at 1244, which is the Hanging Man, and the 44 of grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it. So here the Knight of Wands is done stretching and growing, juggling 3 and saving 2 for later as they're lassoing in the Divine Feminine. Strength of the Starseed reversed, perhaps embarrassing themselves in front of the twin flame, with truth and coming clean with the Page of Swords in a message, and challenged by healing separation with the Knight of Swords and secret passion at work, transitioning through the portal and keeping to themselves, with the Hermit's advice to not tell the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands until they finish growing up. The King of Wands reversed is exposing peace or peaceful travels to the Knight of Cups connection that's strong, holding back downloads at the new moon or about deception here. Embarrassed about the Page of Swords' message at work and challenged by healing separation and or heartbreak. The twin flames are not presenting the whole truth of this, the twin flames messenger of truth are presenting the whole truth of the secret passion in transition portal, ending or dark night, and trying to keep peace of mind with the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands, post-war, at 1253, the Hanging Man and the Messenger of Truth. Okay, so there's the read for you. It's 104.53 and 7:47. So you got an airplane again there, and there's an airplane flying over right now. I just turned to 105, which is the Magician and the Hierophant, or change, freedom, expansion, on a jet plane, the 747. Leaving on a jet plane. So that's coming up. Let's pull a few oracle cards for you. Just get my stuff out of the way here. Okay. What do I want to pull from? I pulled out Nature's Whispers, so let's pull one from here. We'll see what comes up. Okay, what is the takeaway from this reading today? That's what we have. Ideal course of action, 37, is the King of Cups and unconditional love. There's one more card that wants to be seen. I'll show you the bottom too. I love this pink right here. It's a really pretty pink. It's very much like that breast cancer pink, so I'm not sure if someone's healing from breast cancer with a lot of self-love. The bottom of the deck here is, again, that color is coming up again here. Open your heart of the 10 of that high vibration destiny. This is the underlying energy of the swan, right? Loving each other. One is the human, one's the swan. There's little pictures of little kids in there. I don't know if you can see them or not. It's like two little angels here that you can't see in the picture who are sitting by. And I don't know if you can see the man's face right here, but he's within the swan's neck there. So there's a masculine. It's about the two is one swan's coming in here. Open your heart is the underlying energy to destiny and high vibration. And I showed you the first card, and there's one more card that wants to be seen. There's flamingos in here and flowers. There's a lion here and a ship that's coming in. There's a polar bear here too as well. Not sure what all this sparkly stuff is. I don't know. This looks like a mini satellite disc actually. That's kind of weird. And like, we have wishes here to wish upon. There's a big castle on the hill. Kind of fantasizing, just sitting and dreaming. She's got a lizard on, is that an iguana on her head? Just being one with nature and all the different sides of herself. And here's Florida coming up again with the flamingos. And that's weird. The Philippines came up too. I feel like the lion in the picture is a stuffed animal of somebody's. Maybe one of your kids has a lion, stuffed animal they just love. But this lion is right behind her. It's like she's leaning on the lion. Maybe someone's got a lion pillow with flowers on it, perhaps pink flowers on it. It's like her built-in protector, this little lion behind her back. You can see him right there. He's very cute. So the second card that came out here is expansion. So we have ideal course of action. So thinking about what the best approach is to perhaps going to the castle. How do I approach this? The ideal course of action in being unconditionally loving. And then expansion here with the 12 of the hanging man. Seeing a new perspective, right? A peace treaty here. Reaching across. And what did I start this read out with? Crossing bridges or something? Crossing to the other side? So this is about some kind of coming together here for sure. A peace treaty to make peace There's lots of rainbow bridges here. You see the faded face here of the feminine energy. And all of like iris, tulip kind of energies. Lots of birds. There's a deer with someone riding them here. And lots of wizards here in the balloons. Lots of balloons in the picture. Let me see what else is in there. It's just getting like the feminine with a big, not even a mountain to cross, but even perhaps a valley to cross. You know, how hard it would be to go down all the way into the valley to get to the other mountaintop. And creating bridges instead to get across. So how many balloons? There's 4, 5, 6. It looks like there's 8 balloons in the sky. Yeah, 4 and 4, like 4 each to make it fair. Each has 4 balloons, and I believe each balloon is carrying a ship on them. Actually. And I just told you about an exchange of ships or planes actually, that people were buying, planes. And that came up because there was an ungrounded ship. And here's ships being, pulled by the balloons in the air. That was weird. I'm getting the whatchamacallits, the blimps. So definitely making some kind of peace treaty. There could be some international peace treaty. I think there was a meeting the other day, a UN meeting around Halloween, making peace treaties. But this could be more personalized, on the twin flame level of the feminine and masculine making peace. And this is like her back turned, and now this is the front of her in a whole different light. Seeing her in a whole different light. And this is very etheric, whereas this is very 3D. And she's very garnished, right? She's got a lot of adornments on her. And here it's just very, flowers and natural and etheric. And a lot of balloons. It's like, setting out lanterns, with wishes. And shooting rainbows everywhere, like coming from waterfalls. That like when people come together, that everything just becomes perfect. The heaven on earth, the peace in the world. Yeah, it's interesting too, because we have a ship here. And it's like, in the second card, they're like picking up the ships in the water. There's a whole bunch of people I didn't notice before coming down the path here. If you build it, they will come. Right? If you build heaven on earth, this natural paradise, they will come down from the cities or the castles to come to see what you've built. Perhaps lots of flowers and animals and natural things and rainbows. Perhaps hot air balloons as well. Whatever you could think of, whatever you can imagine. Imagine there's no heaven. I wonder if you can. So it's, yeah. It's definitely, it's like, I'm getting like it's making a pact for heaven on earth. Let's see what the journey of love has to say for us today. And the other hand, it's definitely her holding a man's hand. So it's a coming together between the masculine and the feminine. A peace treaty or a pact. Perhaps to have a home in the flowers or surrounded by them or sitting in the middle of it. Where everyone comes from miles around to see what you've created. And that could just be to come see your energy, to be in it, to bask in your energy. All right, from the journey of love we have becoming. There's that painting And the 2D energy has been coming up for me as space between. And as we get more etheric and light in our bodies, what they were telling me is that the space between absorbs the negative energy, right? Because you don't get rid of polarity, because you have to have polarity, right, in this 3D realm. So as our bodies get lighter and there's more space between, the space holds the negative energy, so we don't have to hold it in ourselves, so that we can be more high vibrational and have that peace on earth. The 34 of the 8 of Wands, the arrows of love and becoming, that energetic exchange with the ethereal touch. Again, the lightening of our bodies. The 27 of new passion, inspiration, and being light as a feather, not having to deal with all that negative, heavy energy. And the energetic exchange between two. And there's another 2D energy, lots of space between the words. There's the 24 who's holding the negative energy for us. That's the Queen of Wands energy. So, or, the Queen of Wands, the person who's coming up as the thief all the time, that could be, the people who are holding negative energy are like the space holders so that you don't have to do it. And then we have let the feminine lead the way, the 39 of the Knight of Cups. She's got this. She's got the Kundalini wrapped around her arm. She knows how to work it. Work it, work it. Let the feminine lead the way, being the Knight of Cups and just leading the way here. And the last card that's coming up is the Cosmic Butterfly, which is, again, that very feminine, motherly energy of the transformation of the butterfly. It's like from the mother to the child. The 36 of the Atlas and the weight of the world upon their shoulders, but happy to do it, right? Happy to be the mother and watch their transformation and how beautiful that is, which came up in the read today about admiring your children and just seeing what beautiful adults they've become, that kind of energy coming up. The bottom of the deck is the Swan, the 67 of the loyal, humble servant, and the Christ flame, which also came up in the read. So again, the Christ's journey of expansion, contracting, and reflecting into the coming of the Swan, the loyal, humble servant, of the two swans who are wrapped up in each other's love. So we're going to read you that first one, and this is definitely coming up as the space between, as our bodies get lighter, is affording us the ability to be in that high vibration and create heaven on earth, while the space between holds that negative charge as opposed to us and our bodies. So that's 34, the energetic exchange. Yes, you are manifesting your divine purpose. Yet what is happening now is just one of many inspired brushstrokes on the canvas of your life's work. You are the artist who paints with trust, instinctive and spontaneous, with faith in the process unfolding. You are not the painter using numbered squares who has a finished vision even before commencing the task, with a map for all the steps of the journey. Your lack of plan renders you open and receptive to divine intervention, or direction, rather. You are capable of being moved by spirit. You are a brave adventurer. So celebrate what you're creating now and realize that it is a step in your major work of divine art, this life of yours, not to be planned, but to be experienced. Stroke after stroke, step after step, you shall witness the picture coming to life. It may not be what you expected, but it will be the most beautiful, extraordinary creation. This oracle brings you comfort that you are blossoming, and each petal unfolding is another step closer to your ultimate divine fulfillment. There is a message here, too, that a relationship or project that you're keen to move forward will bloom in its own unique way. Give it breathing room and be willing to let it become what it seeks to be. Even without a clear direction or plan, sometimes even because of that, there's an inner plan that can come to fruition. And the poem reads, "Take heed, my friend, for time is ticking fast, illusion grand in hopes this dream will last. Such memories we keep for days to come, a looking glass that only shows what's done. It would be sad to think there's nothing more, a well-worn path reflecting what's in store. God's gift was not that days would be the same. Each dawn's first light would sing a fresh refrain of light and cloud to bathe the earth's surprise. With change afoot to stop would be unwise. A palette rich awaits the artist's brush, creating life at one with God's soft touch." Okay, so just allow yourself to be very organic and develop your life, just like the mystery of the cards I showed you, right? How can you may not even be able to envision yet what's possible, right? Because you've never experienced it before. Make sure you drink your water and get your rest, your joy in your nature, and dream, imagine, and rise and be love. I'll see you soon, guys. Have an amazing day and a wonderful year. Yay. Bye.